And the Murray people, or all this area here, they should be taught in school about how they really was. Instead of saying like it's they were dispersed is a polite way of saying it. It was massacres. There was unmentioned wars, guerrilla tactics on behalf of the British. Um, they've even actually named certain places around this area after terrible people. A place that I come from, known as Birrumba, in Yuggera country, or Yuggera language speaking nation, it means the dwelling place of the south. Ba means dwelling place of, and Birrun is the south. It's a Yuggera word. They named that place Logan after a captain who was a murderous, a bit like Christopher Columbus. And that what needs to be told is that particular history. There's a song by Mop and the Dropouts called The Brisbane Blacks. It's a contemporary song. And in that song there's a line that is, it speaks to you. It says, and you wonder why they're like that, only to be found by your blind eye. Turning a blind eye to things almost as counted in this day as perhaps being as guilty as the perpetrator. We can't keep sweeping it under the rug. A lot of people, this is a new generation coming up. I was listening to a bloke called George Catlin, or Caitlin, I'm not too sure, he's a comedian, but he was saying that we can't keep complaining about these politics. It's us who elect these politics to speak on our behalf. They come from a greedy society, driven by greedy people, and we as a people have given them that power. And that's coming from an American, or a US citizen. We're here in Australia, it's supposed to be like free, or freedom. We gotta teach our children that hate stuff has got to die in our generation. We got to teach our children about love. The definition of love is a deep affection feeling. And on the flip side too, so is hate. Two great emotions that can, be driven, sent to different places. But the greatest of all of it is love. I read the Bible. I don't necessarily go to church, but there's a spirituality there that I can identify with myself and what I've learned from my own culture. I learned a lot about the Genesis stories because the creation, the Hebrew creation. My name's Bundamba Yah, and it means battle axe belonging to Yah. Yah is the Hebrew name of the creator. It also, as well as Jah, it's written in the name of his prophets, Elijah, Messiah, Yah, Hallelujah, all those names. I thought I'd mention that because here in Australia as well, we don't have a polylythic, is that it? Or a pagan type structure. There's only one creator, and there's only two spirits. Nura, which we call good spirit or sacred spirit, and Mugai, which is bad spirit. A lot of that, what we just participated about, the smoker ceremony, Trumor, is about getting rid of that negativity which is caused by that Mugai, that unseen bad spirit. I'd like to thank you guys for coming out here, for giving up some of your time to come out here and kickstart this day of mourning now. When I grew up, we did a lot of dancing and marching in the 90s, and I was told by my elders that it was a sorry day. That was the only day that it was associated with. We got these new campaigns coming forth called Change the Date or Change the Flag and all of that. My definition of it is that Australia's always been a crime scene since this history that's written. Prehistory, I'm not saying it was perfect, but we had a structure there that was balanced between fauna and flora. And I think the government at that time, when they did place us under the Fauna and Flora Act, that there is a good side to it, that yes, we're not to be counted and compared to those like Egyptians and Greeks and all of those fellows who have temples and foreign gods and structures and systems like the Romans. But we had a perfect balance here. We had a totem system that governed us. We were deep connected into our spirituality through the landscape. If you took that person from the landscape and put them somewhere else in a different landscape, they won't have that spiritual connection anymore. And a part of our punishment systems was, if they did wrong, it was to spear them, and they were no longer to be connected to the landscape. They had to roam on the outskirts, belonging to no one, a bit like a vagabond or a fugitive, and they were marked. But if we can push forward just to get the education, get people's minds, the topics, and get them speaking about these things that have happened, that can get the ball rolling, so that we can have a brighter future for our children and our children's children to grow together. There's no point of I think education will be the best approach. There's stuff there that we had to learn as a man. There's one thing I'll speak about. My grandmother was a part of the stolen generation. That's my mother's mum. From speaking with other family members when I was a kid, we knew what happened to her, but she never ever told us. And it wasn't until she was old, when I was older, like I think in my 20s, I remember she was having a drink, and I hit her up and I asked her what happened, and she only talked about it once, and it was briefly, which meant she wasn't mucking around, it was true. And it was sad for her at that time, because these children, it's affected their character in society, and a lot of the mainstream is sort of like, I wonder why they're like that, when perhaps maybe some of that stuff ain't your cup of tea. We're not here to put the guilt trip on anybody, or even to say that we're these are the reasons why we're like that. But it's hard to go through society when you're being portrayed as the undesirable, just a burden. I come out here to honor my grandmother. She probably doesn't know that I'm here, but I hope that she knows that that these stories are being told on her behalf, and because they were, I don't know, not assimilated, but they were bred to not talk about these things. It breaks your heart. But thanks for inviting me out here to kick off today's National Sorry Business, and I hope you enjoy your day today.
Thank you.
I'm gonna cut off.
Did you want to finish with a bit more? Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sure. In this is called Brida Mundu in Yuggera country. It traditionally doesn't come from this area. We believe that it came from far north. And how we got this instrument is by trade. We traded the fire sticks. It's a coastal instrument, and it travelled along the coast. Our fire sticks travelled north along the coast, and this is what came down the coast. And they say they believe that this didgeridoo, or Brida Mundu, traditionally comes from the Yuggera area, which is Darwin, and they call that instrument yidaki. What I play is a southeast style didgeridoo, which is Yuggera, Waka Waka, Kabi Kabi, and Konda Muka.